and we're ready to go. So here we go then, game number 1. Hello guys, and welcome to the War is Coming Grand Finals, the very pinnacle of the tournament, the best of the best that this tournament has to offer, and that is of course the Tyrant Legends versus the Tyrant Warlords. And we're here with game number 1 in round 2. That's right, there are 4 rounds of the finals in which there are 9 games, meaning that we get to see a total of 36 games in the final, which is awesome. And we're kicking things off with technically game number 10, but this is going to be game number 1 of the second round, which is going to be played as a series of 3v3s. Game number 1 going to be played on the map, well, War is Coming map pack, and this one just happens to be Bedouins, Bedouins, apparently, according to the chat. I don't know. I'm just looking over, and someone, what's his name? Stalin and Pals. Stalin and Pals, his comrades, he let me know, apparently it's pronounced Bedouins, but I don't know. I don't know if that's correct, or if he's just attempting to get me to say it wrong. But either way, that's the map, like it or lump it, and we're gonna, well, introduce the players, see who we've got, and see who's gonna be the main players in this 3v3 series. Will teams switch out their players, or will they basically keep the same players throughout? Will they remove their weakest link, or will they switch them in and out so that everyone gets to see a piece of the action? So anyway, for the Legends, we've got Mr. Cab here. He's in the blue, and he's playing as the Vikings. What a surprise. Perhaps then looking to fulfill a sling role. Who knows? I know, he will probably be looking to do a sling roll, because that's what Cab does. That's his, you know, ultimate Grandmaster strategy, sling. And who is he going to sling? Well, down to the south of him, in the red, we've got the Viper, and the Viper's playing as the Mayans. So, probably the Viper going to be the recipient of that Cab sling. And he's down there, right at the edge of the map, next to a nice wood line. Good TC position, actually. Very close to some gold, which is always nice, and obviously plenty of food. And their third teammate for the Tyrant Legends, way over to the far right of the map, about as far across the map as you could possibly be from your teammates. We've got Jordan23, and he's in the green, playing as the Persians. Should be interesting to see how this one goes, because Jordan23 tucked away in the corner there, probably not going to be too well defended. His teammates are a little far away to come to his assistance in a hurry, and if it were the case that all of the Warlords decided to team up on him, like we saw a few instances of in the 4v4s, then Jordan could be in a bit of trouble over here on his own. And I expect, because he's playing as the Persians, he will want to most likely fast castle and boom, which means that he's probably going to end up walling himself in pretty early on to protect from any unwanted raiding. And you can see already he's building his house out here, which is going to form the start of a nice big wall off for him. So that's the Tyrant Legends, and scattered across the center of the map are the Tyrant Warlords. Up to the north, in the orange, we've got Bagiofro. Oh look, he's playing as the Mayans for the 10th game in a row. Bagiofro is playing as the Mayans once again, and he is pretty well in an okay position. It looks like his gold might be a little far out, which is probably the worst thing actually, so not ideal, but he's got gold back here which he should be able to keep secure. Just down to the south of Bagiofro, in the yellow, we've got Riot, and Riot's probably playing as the Huns or the Persians. He's indeed playing, he's playing as the Mongols, my bad. Slam would be the Huns or the Persians, what am I talking about? But Riot playing in the yellow there as the Mongols, right in the center of the map, pretty close to both Cab and the Viper, but you can see already that Cab is starting to wall up, because what would Cab's Viking sling be if there were no wolves to keep him safe? So that's the plan there. That's Riot's TC, right to the right of Cab and Viper's TCs. So, last but not least, the Tyrant Warlords, they've got Slam, and Slam is playing as the Persians. We could have predicted that one, could have seen that coming a few miles away. He's there in the purple off to the right of the map. And the interesting thing here is the non-mirrorness of this game. You've got the Warlords with no Viking player. They've got the Mongols, the Mayans, and the Persians. So the Mongols there being the odds one out, I guess, for the Warlords, and the Legends going for a typical sling setup with the Vikings and Mayan player, which is most likely going to be the recipient of that sling, and then of course the legendary Persians, who are going to be the Paladin civilization to bring out those Paladins in the late game. Of course, for the Warlords, they've got that Paladin Civ, which is Slam, and they've got the Mongols, which is well, the Mayans, sorry, but they've also got the Mongols, which is more likely to be the late game powerhouse if they can get that far. Now, obviously, the strength of the sling is that the sling provides one of the players with a huge amount of food and gold very early, allowing them to get to the Imperial Age very fast and simply overwhelm their opponents with a superior army in terms of tech. So, for instance, let's say you've got the Viper here. He's playing as the Mayans. The Mayans are fantastically... Well, their plumed archers are so cheap, so first of all, that's great. They can get a lot of plumed archers out very cheaply and take a lot of map control with that. And then you've got Cab slinging him as the Vikings. The Vikings have a great economy, thanks to their free wheelbarrow and handcart. And they also... Well, they just have a good economy, let's be honest. But the Vikings aren't an amazing land civ either. So for the Vikings, just sending their resources to the mines, getting the mines to the Imperial Age in 20 minutes, and then the mines just being able to steamroll over everything, simply because they are able to get trebs out, because they're able to swarm the map with plumed archers, which are, you know, fully upgraded and nearly impossible to kill with crossbows or mangonels. That makes them really, really powerful, and that's why the sling is so strong. Of course, Cab here making all the efforts he can to wall himself in, because the Viking player is the most vulnerable player while there is a sling going on. Obviously, if Cab stays in the feudal age and he doesn't even click to castle, then he's not going to be able to defend himself from a castle age army. Of course, for the Vikings here, they are unlikely to go to the castle age if they intend to sling, because that 800 food, 200 gold, that's a lot of resources. That could put the Mayan player, you know, 90% closer, 70%, 80% closer. I don't know what the percentage is, but it could put them a lot closer to the Imperial Age. So you see Viper here, hard walling it up. You see Jordan, hard walling it up. You see Cab, hard walling it up. And the Legends just wall their armor right now, whereas the Warlords are just chilling. You know, they don't care. They don't need to wall. Walling's for scrubs. Riot is trying to do something here with some stable. He's trying to get some scouts out, but unfortunately for Riot, by the time that scout's out on the field, well, it's going to be fully walled, and he is not going to get through. So it's a little bit dangerous for the Tyrant Warlords in this position. This sling is an incredibly powerful thing, and this is the thing as well. Even if the Warlords at this point recognize that the Legends are going to do a sling strat, they have got very little time to adapt and react. In this situation, you've got Riot here with a few scouts. His castle time is going to be abysmal because of this. We know for a fact that the Viper's going to be up to the Castle Age and the Imperial Age very quickly. And Riot now sticking down a tower just outside of Cab's wall. And the reason he's doing this, of course, is to try and prevent Cab from being able to sling the Viper. If they rush down Cab, then no sling will come Viper's way. But Cab, he's got another trick up his sleeve, and that trick is the stone wall, which is much more resilient than a palisade wall. And of course, much harder for a watchtower to break down. Now this is the thing, Riot's put this tower here. He's not going to be able to bring down that stone wall with that tower. And so Cab's just going to wall it up behind. And he is hard walling like a crazy. Riot going to keep that pressure on, of course. He's going to do his best, but it's going to be near impossible for him to break through these walls now. Not now Cab's got that stone wall up, and he's turtling up like a madman. We do see Jordan 23 here with a stable, actually. And he's still going to fast castle this. Obviously, you can see he's in the castle age already, adding in a second stable now. Now, the plan for Jordan 23, of course, was to fast castle all along. That's why he started walling up so soon. But the nice thing about this map is that you can do a very nice castle time. Obviously, all of these little lakes have a lot of shorefish in them, and you can see that the shorefish, well, they first of all gather very quickly, but there's also plenty of boar and sheep around as well, allowing for a really large amount of food income, and, well, you don't need much gold income to get yourself up to the castle age. You'll notice, actually, at this point, Cab is actually slinging Jordan. I don't know if that's going to continue, but if it does continue, it could be pretty interesting. I actually expected him to sling the Viper. I imagine once the game goes into the later stages, the Viper sling will come in. You can see right here, Riot trying to bring down these walls. He's trying to get that watchtower up. He's even bringing his villagers in to punch away at that stone wall, but it's too sturdy. It is too difficult to bring down. And by the time that wall does go down, you're going to find Jordan 23 in the castle age starting to pressure on the land. Now, Slam and Badgiofro both had a faster castle time, though, which is really nice. And you can see straight away Slam bringing up a monastery here to defend from any knights that might be coming in his way, which, of course, is expected. If we have a look at Slam's point of view, you can see that he has scouted that stable there, and he does know what Jordan 23 is up to. He knows that he is going to be bringing in some knights this way very soon. So for Slam, bringing out a monk nice and early is a fantastic decision, a fantastic choice. Monks do... well, everyone's shouting hole in the chat. Where's the hole? Oh, there's a hole. Apparently. My god, there's a hole. Where's the hole? I don't know, but wow. Riot managed to get in, breaking his way through those walls, regardless of the fact they're stone walled. Where on earth is the hole, though? I don't know, but honestly, there is always a hole. People in the chat like, there's a hole! I guess you guys see the minimap or something. But there you go, Cab losing a bunch of villagers, and that is certainly going to be annoying, to say the least, for the Tyrant Legends. About 4 or 5 villagers going down there, and you've got Viper now building his castle as quickly as possible to try and bring some plumed archers out and get a little bit of map control. But great play by Riot there, I like that a lot. But back to what I was saying, the monks are like the perfect counter, the best counter to knights. They are really damn good, and you get one conversion with the monk, it's basically paid for itself. So Slam doing a great thing, bringing out a monk here. Obviously you can't afford many, but it's certainly worthwhile getting a couple. This is the problem. Obviously, with Jordan 23 getting a little sling from Cab, we've got this issue where Jordan 23 is able to produce knights from 2 stables, and Slam, well, Slam's not actually produced a single knight so far. He's just put up a monastery, and he is attempting to boom. Badgiofro, meanwhile, neglecting to build a castle, instead a monastery to defend, and a, well, series of crossbowmen, which is a good idea. And, well, the idea behind the crossbow, of course, is that you can create a few crossbow, or a lot of crossbow, quite quickly, because you have 2 archery ranges from the moment you get to the castle age. Whereas the plumed archer, even though it is stronger, it does require a castle first, and that requires quite a bit of stone. So the Warlords here, obviously not going for a sling at all, but I kind of like that. There's another conversion, though. Slam getting 2 knights now as he tries to pick up that relic. You'll notice as well, we already heard the relic collection sound. That's because Slam actually took the relic, dropped the relic, and then converted the knight and picked it back up again. The only concern I have for the Warlords at the moment is that they have very little map control. They really don't seem to be in a great position in terms of map control. You've still got Riot, who's in the feudal age, having to bring out a few spearmen now, and Riot's castle time is not going to be amazing. He is up, fortunately, but there's quite a lot of knights out for Jordan 23, and like I say, getting that map control, preventing the Warlords from walling, is quite an important thing, and something that will certainly give them a nice advantage. So there's Viper's plumed archers. They're coming out thick and fast, and Riot's going to be cleaned up here. Down he goes. The last scout is gone, and yeah, he certainly hurt Cab's economy a little bit, but I don't think Cab's in a terrible position. He's got 35 villagers, which is actually a lot more than Riot at this point. Riot's down on 26 at the moment. So even though Riot's now in the castle age, Even though Riot did some eco damage to Cab, he's still about 10 villages behind in comparison. And Riot here, you know, he tried to do that feudal aggression, he tried to make something work, but it is so difficult to do. So we have an engagement here between Badgerfro and Viper. Of course, those plumed archers incredibly strong thanks to their pierce armor, and of course the fact that they have fletching done already, and extra health, of course. But Viper's going to go back for now anyway, save his units where he can, and surprisingly, the Sling perhaps not actually coming into the Viper just yet. I guess we'll find out very soon. But yes, Riot's up to the Castle Age. That means he's going to be bringing out some camels to deal with Jordan 23's knights. And Jordan 23 still bringing out those knights when he can. Going to be sending those across to try and raid, do as much eco damage as possible. But I really feel like Riot is in a bad position at the moment. Down on 25 villagers. He's really not got a substantial eco here, especially if he wants to support, you know, a reasonable amount of military production. He is going to need that second and third TC quickly so that he can actually protect himself. The thing is, or actually keep his villagers coming out. The thing is here, Viper's plumed archers, they've got bodkin arrow already, and Viper's now getting that full sling from Cab. So, I mean, we're going to see these plumed archers coming in. They're going to really harass Riot's economy. Riot's not going to be able to, you know, chop much wood and take many fish if he's constantly got to put his villagers back inside of his TC. And these plumed archers here are going to be actually laying down the damage. Slam's Knights not going to last too long against that, as he's only got 2. And Camels as well, pretty weak against the archers because they have very little armor. So, you know, the Viper in this position, staying strong right outside of right outside of Riot space, rather. And for now, going to do a lot of damage, going to do a substantial amount of damage, and to be honest with you, he could probably beat that army as well from back there, because he has got that +1 defense, he has got bodkin arrow, and Badgerfro just has fletching right now. Not to mention that these plumed archers are cheaper as well, so even though Viper may have lost more in that fight, he didn't really lose as many resources because he didn't invest that many. Riot now getting raided pretty hard, and he's going to lose 3 or 4 villagers right here because he's got nowhere to run as he tries to put this TC up. Badgerfro can only do so much with the crossbows he's got. At the moment, it doesn't seem like they're putting on pressure anywhere else. And Riot's down to 30 villagers after building up a little bit more. And it's just bad news for the Warlords at the moment. Badgerfro trying to come in again with some crossbows, but the upgrades are so in favor of the Viper. Viper's got so many extra resources to spend thanks to these resources coming in from Cab. But surprisingly, back to winning that fight. He did have good numbers there, I guess. And he did a little bit of micromanagement. Not a huge amount. Viper's got university at the moment. He's just putting up a barracks as well, actually. And I wonder if he's got a monastery yet. Not just yet. But Viper's not going to be far from the Imperial Age here. You know, he's going to have a lot of resources coming in from Cab. And those resources are going to catapult him into the Imperial Age very, very quickly. Now, on the right side, Jordan 23 getting a bunch of kills on Slam here. I see at least 5 or 6 dead villagers over here. And Jordan as well, finding more villager kills on Riot. For some reason, Riot has all of his villagers like over here. I don't know what they're doing over this side of the map. That's kind of far from where he was. And Riot's down to 27 villagers once again. Slam's economy here, just unable to gather really anything without losing villagers. Gonna lose yet another. And Jordan 23, meanwhile, is sitting at home, just comfortably safe and sound. We've finally got some stables coming up from Slam, and you know, he's starting some camel production, but he's got no upgrades on these guys. He's got 0 upgrades on his knights, 0 upgrades on his camels, and there's the Viper into the Imperial Age, 27 minutes. Whereas the other guys, the Warlords, they're going to struggle getting into the Imperial Age at all this game. Viper using that extra stone that he's received from Cab here, building that castle forwards. And this is the real difficult thing to deal with when you're up against a Sling. Not only is the Viper getting food and gold to help him to the Imperial Age faster, but he's also getting stone, which means that he's going to be building those castles a bit faster as well. And how are the Warlords going to stop these castles when they don't have anything that can go up against these plumed archers at the moment? It's going to be too difficult. So that castle's going to succeed. Back Geoffro bringing in a few monks now, but I don't see what a few monks are going to do. Monks are really ineffective against plumed archers, mostly because of how cheap the plumed archers are. You get one conversion, and you've not paid for the monk. You need to get at least, what, 3 conversions, I think, to make the monk pay for itself. And that's kind of difficult to do. Viper now, 2 siege workshops on the front of this castle. More plumed archer production. His output of plumed archers is basically just doubled. And meanwhile, the Warlords getting raided. Jordan 23 coming in. Not doing a huge amount of damage because Slam's got those camels ready and waiting. But Jordan here, he's kind of done his job at the moment. He's raided, he's kept these guys busy. And now Viper's going up to Imp. Once he hits the Imperial Age, things are going to be well, things are going to be very tough for the Warlords at that point. Obviously, things are pretty tough as they are, given the fact that they are pretty out in the middle of nowhere, difficult walling. Riot's basically unable to contribute any military at this point in time. But yeah, like I say, I mean, Jordan can just fall back, upgrade to the Imperial Age in his own time, and Viper's probably going to have done the deed by then. He's probably going to have finished off Riot, because it's really not going to take him long. So we're going to see Cap Ramp coming in any second. Now, of course, we're going to see Bracer fairly soon, but the elite plumed archer taking precedence over that. A third castle going up for Viper as well here. Cap's Ram coming in, and of course this is only made possible through that sling of Cab. Cab is still in the feudal age, sending everything he's got to the Viper. And Viper's third castle going up there in the range of 2 TCs as well. So for the Warlords now, unless they can take down these plumed archers, there is nothing they can do. And I think we're going to see a very quick GG at this rate, because Riot's about to lose his main TC. And that third castle is about to go up as well. And just from here on, the Warlords, they needed Bad Geoffro to have a castle and plumed archers. They needed something to stop these plumed archers from Viper. They're now elite. They've now got Bracer done, and things are just tough at the moment. Things are very tough. So for the Viper in this situation, he's just going to clean up now. Bad Geoffro is probably not up to the Imperial Age yet. No, he's not. He's close, but it's too late. He's only got 1 castle. He's only just managed to get that castle up. At the back of the map, he's got Jordan raiding. Quite heavily, in fact. There's a lot of knights back here. He's clicked up to Imp now. Meanwhile, Slam is still in the castle age. Of course, he's been building a lot of knights and camels to try and defend himself from Jordan. So it's understandable that he's not going to be up to the Imperial Age yet. Riot, meanwhile, he did quite a bit of a feudal aggression, and then because he was slow to the Castle Age, he ended up getting raided by Jordan 23. He's never going to reach the Imperial Age anytime soon. Jordan 23 as well. No rush to get to Imp from him, because Viper's going to finish this game at this rate, and that's basically that. Viper at the back of the map with his plumed archers just picking away at villagers from a long range. Rams coming into this TC. That's 2 TCs about to fall for the Tyrant Warlords, and to be honest with you, they may as well call it right there. Bad Geoffro's castle, very undefended, very out in the open. 2 Trebs coming his way, and Viper's even got the balls here to go and attack that TC. even though he's got no support for that siege, he's just gonna, you know, lay a couple of rams into that. On this right side, 2 more TCs gonna fall. And what's to stop Viper continuing on? Well, Slam's hoping, I guess, that he could do something, but without bloodlines here, without +2 defense on these knights, these are going to get absolutely chewed up by the plumed archers once they come into play. Bad Geoffro's got bigger issues as well at the moment at the back of the map. He has just lost about half his eco, well, not half, but a lot of his eco. He's got 8 military and 81 economy. Whereas Viper's sat on 51 military and 97 economy. Bad Geoffro in this position is hard-pressed to be able to do a lot. He's got to get himself back into the game somehow, and he's hoping to do that once he reaches the Imperial Age. Looks like he's going for Elite Eagle Warriors, which is a decent decision, I think. But I mean, look at those resources now. He's got 1,300 food, 1,200 gold. Slam now slinging Bad Geoffro, because they know that's the only chance they've got. For goodness me. Viper's getting ballsy with these rams. He's literally just throwing them away. And Slam even managed to get 3 Plumed Archer conversions, which is quite impressive. He's not actually upgraded his monks at all. But the fact that he's converted 3 and got away with it, that's kind of cool. I'm surprised Slam's not paying attention here, though. Wake up, Slam. That was a waste of gold right there. Huge waste of gold. Slam coming in at the back. He's only got +1 defense still. And now Bagiofro trying to pull himself back into this. But the Warlords just seem all over the place. It's so messy at the moment. They are pretty much surrounded. Rit's down at 52 villagers still, and he is not going to be able to pull himself back into the game in time. We've got elite Eagle Warriors now coming out, but this is the thing. As good as the Eagle Warriors are with their Pierce armor, the Plumed Archers actually have an attack bonus against Eagle Warriors, so they will make pretty short work of them if they are massed up enough. And the problem here as well is that Bagiofro is having to rebuild his castle so he can get El Dorado. He needs that 100 hit points. He needs that. But he's about 40%. He's already lost 1 castle, and Viper's deploying on that 2nd castle already. The chances are El Dorado will complete in time. But if it doesn't, well, it's not going to happen, so let's not speculate. But even still, the Warlords are persisting. They are carrying on for now. But Jordan 23 has just reached the Imperial Age. He's got fully upgraded Castle Age Knights. They are about to become Cavalier any moment now. And Jordan 23 is going to give that finishing blow to Slam, whilst Viper deals with Bagiofro at this point. Anyone else up to Imp yet? Well, no. We've still got Cab in the Feudal Age, still slinging away, of course. Non-stop slaying around the clock. And what Cab? Oh, building a 2nd market to trade, of course. These guys setting up their trade. I don't know why they're setting up their trade. I guess you can never, it's not over till it's over. So I guess they kind of don't want to get too complacent and just assume that they've won at this point. But let's be honest, Slam is in no good position right now. Riad is in no good position. And their military production is nearly non-existent. Slam here, after slinging Bagiofro, he's got none of his own resources. He's got nothing to protect himself from Jordan. After slinging everything he's got to Bagiofro, Bagiofro is not able to defend him. He's not able to defend himself. And there's the GG. The Tyrant Legends going to grab themselves game number 1 in the Grand Finals. And that's going to make it 1-0 in this series so far. Good play by the Legends. I mean, it's a proven strategy. It works. Slinging is the done thing these days. If you want to win, just sling, and sling that Mayan player as well. You saw how quickly the Viper was able to take a lot of map control. You saw how much damage these Plumed Archers could do very quickly. There was no chance that Slam could engage that head on. There was no chance that Bagiofro could engage that with his crossbows. Now, if these guys hadn't slung, if Cab sorry, not slung, if they've not walled, if Cab and Viper hadn't been able to wall up, and Riot had been able to pile on the pressure in the Feudal Age with those scouts, that would have been a whole different story altogether. But that quick wall, that very early walling, that saved them, and that allowed them to do what they did, which was basically sling all game. And Cab there, just able to stay in the Feudal Age, didn't even have to worry about it making a single military unit. He just sends it out to Viper, sends it out to Jordan 23, and those guys, well, they get the win. So there you have it. GG, game number 1 is done, and the Legend's going to go 1-0.